guys, welcome back to Kumasal, and now we get to take a full-on deep look and review the CCSToys Gurren Lagann. You guys already saw the unboxing video, so you're pretty familiar with what all it comes with, but now we get to put it all together, play with the figure and stuff like that, and really get you hyped for this release. And I can tell you, this figure's pretty damn incredible. I'm sure you can tell by looking at it, but the quality actually matches the look on this one. Unlike that King Arts Guy King that I just reviewed. We're going to forget about that. But yeah, so comes with Gurren Lagann, and of course, a ton of accessories. So let's look at those real quick. Alright, so I'm really trying to make sure my brightness is up to here. I apologize for any shakiness, but I am holding this camera in my hand right now versus stand, just to let me move it around a bit easier. But it comes with two alternate faces. You can see the base for the stand right there, two different leak stands themselves. He has his flight pack. This is an alternate for his chest, as well as a different head ornament when he's got the drills going on. Big drill, smaller drill, the wings for the backpack, variety of hands over on the right hand side, as well as a variety of drills here. Now, why aren't these laid out and kind of nice and pretty how I normally lay out accessories? They're all magnetized. Well, for the most part they are. Some are pegs, but like I said, most part they're magnetized and they're all sticking to each other. There's no real way to keep them near each other without them kind of going into each other like so. I did that off camera, but as soon as you kind of get them within the vicinity, they just naturally do that, guys. So yeah, that's what it is. But again, those are the accessories, and we'll go over all of these. Okay, and before I really dig into this figure, I just want to say, if and when you get it, take a good look at the instructions. For the most part, it's a pretty straightforward figure, but what this does is really let you know like exactly how many of the drills you're supposed to have, of each kind and this and that. And it lays out how to put everything together, because a lot of the drills look similar, but it tells you exactly where things go. It's nice, color-coded, and I don't big up instructions a lot, but these are especially good. Putting those in the back there. First thing we'll do is give it a measurement. This figure is big. There aren't a lot of full-on Gurren Lagann figures out there. There are model kits and stuff like that, but you pretty much got the Sentinel Riotbot, and then there's like a model version of that. I think it's Sentinel's Playbot line. It's pretty new. You've got the Konami Great Impact, which is a little bit bigger, but then you've got this thing, which is absolutely huge compared to both of them. So start off by giving this a measurement. Get it behind here. All right, so on my end, at the top of the crest, I'm seeing approximately 9 inches tall. Now we'll get that so you guys can see it as well. Pretty big. Now, the only other full-on figure that I have that's not like model kit, Nendoroid, like that kind of stuff, is the Sentinel Riotbot. Older figure, but still holds up to this day. It's a tremendous piece. It is plastic, but the articulation and stuff like that, it's one of those figures that, for me, really puts Sentinel on the map in terms of what they can do and what they're about. So I'm not going to measure it to the back of the backpack or anything like that, but this one is about 5 3/4 inches tall, from what I'm seeing. So quite a difference there. It's towards double the size, you know? You're looking at 5 inches versus 9 inches, and I mean, 10 is double, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Simple math, but yeah, there we go. And there's your comparison right there. There'll be more comparisons and stuff like that in the gallery, but like I said, this figure is huge. And also, I can't tell you exactly what parts of it are die-cast. I haven't seen any pictures or anything like that. You know how sometimes they'll do the prototype and like the die-cast parts will be overlaid in blue and this and that. But it's a nice, heavy figure. It's very cold to the touch. So I believe that parts on both the outside and inside, like the inner frame and the outer shell, are die-cast, which is really cool. And the paint on this thing is glorious. It's more like car paint. It reminds me a lot of like the future model stuff, rather than regular kind of, you know, like Bandai Soul Shogoken, which isn't bad, but they're mostly die-cast on the inside, kind of sparingly. Sentinel, even more sparingly, with the die-cast and stuff like that, but largely plastic pieces and painted appropriately. This is premium from head to toe. Okay? And it's not just big up in the figure. I'm trying to be objective here. You know, you're going to get it, you're going to feel it and be like, whoa, this is cold to the touch. Holy crap, that's cool. So giving you guys a roundabout, really good detail in here. I like the candy colors, the red on it. I will say that Sentinel has me kind of scared of candy coat red because theirs has done this thing where it like cracks and peels on the inside. Like it'll still feel fine to the touch, but you see all this cracking and random stuff. Hopefully they use a better paint or finish or whatever the problem is with the Sentinel stuff so that it doesn't have the same issues. But right now it is gorgeous. Marvelous even. Let's give that another turn around. And it's got just the right detail in my opinion. Enough to make it feel like a high-end collectible, but not so much that it just feels like over-stylized and stuff like that. It's gorgeous. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation on this guy. Zoom out a little bit. Make sure everything's in view here. So, it's got two joints. A ball joint where the head meets the neck, and of course another joint where the neck meets the clavicle area there. So I believe they're both ball joints just because, well, the head's definitely a ball joint, but where the neck meets the clavicle area, it's still got that side to side and back and forth, and it's just such a natural roll. You can kind of tell where it's a ball joint versus like hinges and stuff like that. And we were talking about die cast, like in here it's just really cold. I believe a lot of pieces on the skirt and stuff like that are. All right, so we'll move on to the shoulders. Let's take a look at the shoulder armor. So there is some movement in there. It is a separate piece. This flips up, and the parts that hold these powders or shoulder armor move up and down as well. Okay. So 360. And it's got like light ratchets. And there's a good amount of space in between the ratchets, but you can still hold them in place in between with friction, which is cool. I like that. Like it has locks, but if you want to get in between, you still can. All right, so let's move that up a little bit. Take a look at the parallel, that outward swing, so good. And the friction feels really good here. Now there is butterfly always on the shoulder, which is cool. All right, so let's take a look at the bicep swivel. And it's nice because it's not super visible, making sure that's not supposed to be farther up, but there's a little bit of space between the shoulder itself and the bicep to make sure that even though the bicep isn't like flat at the cut, it still gets that full 360 and stuff. Really smart engineering there. And if you guys have watched my reviews lately, I've been a stickler for like the little things that just show attention to detail and like a level of care for figures, you know? It's coming few and far in between nowadays, it feels like. So double jointed elbows. And you can visibly see the nice die cast joint there. Okay. Well past 90 degrees. Forearm almost touches the bicep when you bend it up. Now the forearms themselves do swivel. Full 360 there. Okay. The wrist, there is rock at the wrist here, as well as in the ball joint there. So that's cool. Really get, if you look at that, in, out, whatever way you want to go. Pretty cool. Taking a look at the waist. Now it does have back bend, ab crunch, and the mouth can open up there. I don't want to press it too far. All right. See that? I love the inner detail there. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Does it have like moving eyes and things like that? Or at least I was thinking that because quite a few Gurren Lagann toys do. This one doesn't. I'm thankful for that because the eyes seem to get out of sync with like the face and this and that. And it's more hassle than what it's worth. All right, so there's the back bend. Make sure that I'm doing this right. Look at the ab crunch. So good amount both ways. And I love that the bottom jaw actually moves and stuff like that too. It's pretty damn wicked. All right. Side to side rock. And that's at both the upper and lower waist. Okay. So pretty cool stuff. Now let's look at the waist swivel. You can do a full 360 there. Not gonna do it though. Now the skirts. Not only these move to the side, and then the gold pieces move in even further up. The front can move up some. The back has minimal movement, not very much. Now the hips don't drop or anything like that. So let's see how they can get nice die-cast hips. Good friction to them too. All right, so quite a ways outwards, which is cool. Get that front. Okay. Seems like the leg's kind of heavy, so it drops. Holds there, but you guys saw that it was a little bit droopy there. And that just pegs back in, so no harm, no foul. Thigh swivel. And I love that even though they're not even cuts, it can still do a full 360 without any touching. It's cool. All right, let's see if these knees are double jointed. Yes. Oh, and the skirts actually move, kind of, they have swivel to them as well. All right, so that's awesome. And then there's animation in the knee joint too. Let's take a look. All right, ankle rock. Front and back. And that just pegs out. But not a lot of forward and back. The front of the foot, you saw that moving. And then the toes move some too. All right. Now we'll take a look at the accessories and get them into some poses and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll take a look at the alternate faces. It's indefinitely easier if you just pop the head off the neck, like so. So, not hard, but I can get it started with my finger, and then I need to take a spudger, because I certainly don't have nails that thin, and kind of push it the rest of the way out. They hold in really well with friction too. What? Butterfingers. Slide this guy right up. And it's a natural slide up too. I love that. Okay. Alright, cool. Make sure that's pegged in as well. Okay. So you can see that it's like a grimacing face there. Do the same thing. Slow and steady wins the race. And my big thing is, the paint job on this, as you guys can see, is so damn immaculate. I'm not trying to screw anything up. You always want to be as fast and fluid as possible on videos. I'm gonna take the head out because it's kind of stuck there. See what I mean? It's so much easier if you just take the head off. Well, of course I put the wrong face on. Then there's a full-on open mouth yelling face there. Make sure that he's still in focus. Yeah, those are the alternate faces. Right now, we're going to look at the smaller drill. No, actually, we're going to look at the larger drill. My bad. You just pop that off. And then there are clips here that line up with clips inside the hand. All right? Make sure that I'm doing that correctly. Get pressed in all the way. You can see It holds as well. It's a pretty light plastic. Huh? Let me actually move my camera back. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Now, let me give you guys a measurement, of course, because everybody's always looking for DTOF ideas. So this is 15 and just over a quarter inches tall. I think DTOF's shelves are 16 by 16 by 16, so this may just fit. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the flight pack. I've already gotten the drills inserted into these. The difference between these ones aren't magnetized, so they look pretty much the same as all the rest of them, but you'll notice they have pegs on the bottom where the other ones don't. And then there are two larger, two smaller. It's impossible to mix them up because you can't fit them into the appropriate peg holes. But there's no left-right to them or anything like that. It's only big and small. Okay, there's that. Then, of course, just that fin there. So before we even get them on there, let's go ahead and take a look at the articulated parts. Good friction, and then this can go back and forth too. Get that out of the way for a second. Show you how to get this attached. And the paint just has me not wanting to use my finger at all. Plastic spudger all the way. Okay, so just take off that cover piece. And then this actually has little clips in it too, so that makes me happy. Cool. Zoom out a little bit more. And what's really nice about this is, alright, so it's pretty close to his arms and stuff. If you need to do anything where you put the arms back and whatnot, this comes out a bit. It has a hinge on there that pulls out. So really, really neat stuff. For the sake of measurements, let's go from wing to wing. I am getting about 12 and a quarter. I see 12 and a quarter on the dot. So again, more than enough for like a DTOF display and whatnot. But there's a wing pack. And while we've got that going, let's go ahead and take off these shades here. It's coming out with that piece. But that piece is supposed to come off when you take the shades off. I was like, whoo, is that a pink scuff? And then, so that you don't have the peg hole, there's an alternate one that pegs in and covers that up. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see better what I'm talking about. I'm gonna adjust the brightness a bit, boost that up. But it's this piece right here, so see if I can get it off with my hand. Nope. Spudger! And maybe I'll include a link to spudgers on here too. Put that in the description as well. But you can see where it has the peg hole there. That covers it up. Then, so we can actually hold this, the hands Just simple pegs. Gotta find the right angle though. There we go. And boom. This side, and let's give this guy a real pose once we got this hand on. That should be forward since he's turned that way. Get this lower. It's a nice angle there. Come on, tell me that's not boss as hell. Brighten that up a little bit. That is just plain freaking cool. Now this is pretty similar to the final pose that I want to have. So I'm going to keep him in this pose, but I'm not going to put every drill on in front of you. But basically, wow, that snaps in really well. They're magnetized. I know these biggest ones just from looking at the instructions. Go in here. I don't know why that one doesn't want to peg as well, but they're all different sizes and stuff. There we go. So I'll have to look over the instructions again to figure out what goes where. But yeah, I'm going to get him all drilled up, but that's the basics of it. Different sizes and stuff. The instructions have it color-coded, so you kind of know what's what and what's where. Really cool stuff. I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. Okay, so we got our boy all drilled up, but man, got some bad news. I actually realized just now that I'm missing a piece, and I went over my unboxing video to confirm that it was, and it wasn't even in the plastic clamshell. I guess I was just so excited to get it and unbox it that I didn't even notice. But he actually does come with an alternate boomerang. You see how this is bent, like, so it goes around the face and stuff. Most Gurren Lagann toys, they have one that's completely flat and a bit larger. And he is supposed to come with one, but it doesn't have one. I've contacted the seller as well as the company itself, so hopefully we can get a replacement part. But at very least, I actually ordered 2 of these, one for a friend, and he's nice enough to kind of return the favor for me hooking him up with a toy and let me borrow his for the sake of the gallery. So you won't see it here, but by the time the gallery is done, his will come this week as well, and I'll just snag that from that box and, you know, get that done or whatever. So there's a positive to it too, but it sucks that I can't show it off in the review. Maybe I'll make a mini video or whatever just about that. So yes, he is supposed to come with a completely flat one that's more straight and things like that. But taking a look at the drills, they hold on extremely well. Like to the point where like it takes a little bit of force. Like you could see like it starts to move the leg before it even comes out. Good magnets and plenty of them. It comes with 2 extra small magnets or small drills, which is nice. Now one thing I didn't show is that there's this alternate crest. And it has a peg and a miniature one that pegs into that. Okay. So what I want to do for the final pose, I want to get this off. I want to get this drill on. Really snap that into place. There we go. And I don't think I actually snapped the big drill into place. It's still held pretty fine, but when you get it snapped in, it goes in onto the forearm really deep. And you actually have to force it off. So getting that out of the way. Stand pretty simple. I'm using the longer one because I want him in a flight pose. Okay. So there's an area under the back of his hip skirt that this will peg into, and he's supposed to rest on here. Now, I do trust this. It's not really a thin pole, but it's a single pole, not like the metal build stands or anything like that, which we're all used to. But since it's a flat base and the pole just, if anything, is going to go more down into the ground than forward or backward and stuff, I trust it well enough. Just the logistics of it seems like it should be fine. So this is my first time trying it, and as long as it pegs in fine, it should be fine. Alright, so it recommends to take the back skirt off. I tried without doing that. Okay. And yeah, pegs in fine. Get the camera up here some. It's nice, you just peg the back skirt back on. And boom. Okay. So, of course that's pretty awkward because he's going in that way. And we're going to put those back on. I'm not too worried about that at the moment. Get this forward. Wow. And if I haven't expressed it enough, this is a fun piece to play with in pose. Like, the joints are just nice. Okay, so one on the back. Oh, both of them were on the back. So nothing to mix up there. And what I want is to bring that up. And I don't want this to come out as a knock on the drills or anything like that, because they're doing what they gotta do, but fidgeting around, I mean, there's only so much magnets can do. And I'm glad they're magnets instead of pegs or anything like that, because magnets ain't gonna break. So there's that. We'll actually get this on a turnstile. We're gonna bring the camera down and look at it from below. Get those feet right. Okay. It's just an amazingly dynamic piece. Should we do it from there? Straighten out that arm a bit. Okay. Now we got him in a position that I really like him in. And I dig it. If you guys haven't gotten the vibe from the review, absolutely love this piece. It's a very, very, very dynamic and just sick looking display. It's too damn good. Big, die cast, well articulated, immaculate paint job, just top to bottom. This is just one of those between, I would say, 8.5 and 10. Just down the middle. If you're a Gurren Lagann fan, it's a must-have. If you're a Super Robot fan, I would also call it a must-have because it just displays well. It's a dynamic piece. And honestly, if you're just a fan of cool, like, mecha products, I don't really say it's a must-have at that point, but it's definitely a highly recommended one. Stay tuned for the full written review and gallery. Just waiting for that other one to come in so I can use that drill and complete that. Should be up this week. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks as always for your support. Man, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.